So that leads to the next question of buy boxes. I think you changed the trajectory there during that question where I'm picturing my fraternity house in college,
Yeah.
that there's like this main room and everybody, but your buy box of your area and your tenant criteria
Yeah.
is not that type of thing. Like I think what you're saying is they're adults, they're working class, they're clean
Yeah.
people. They're probably past the stage in life where they're getting a room so
Yeah.
they can trash the house and throw parties. So what are some things for like locations, square footage, price points? Like what are some things you look for your buy box for your properties? And then I'll go into some of the characteristics of the people.
Yeah, I think for your listeners to understand that if you buy a co-living home and it's like in the wrong area or it's the wrong, you bought in an HOA neighborhood that's going to shut you down with this. I mean, it can be disastrous. Like we've had that happen before where I bought in a wrong, quote unquote wrong area or an area I shouldn't have bought in, or the house looked good but the area didn't fit it, kind of like what we just talked about. It's like those definitely can be contentious situations. I had a student recently in Dallas who bought a co-living home, and this is a little bit of an embarrassing story to tell because I did not approve the purchase, and there were some dynamics of it, but they bought a co-living home in like a golf course community in the most NIMBY type of neighborhood you'd ever want to drive through. I mean, everybody's perfect, everybody's perfect. It's on a golf course, and I was like, what the hell? And of course, it's like, what are you doing here? Every neighbor in the neighborhood is like, what are you doing here? What's the rehab going on? Da 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 da. Calls to the city, like that shit happens for sure. So you do have to be careful because it can go wrong. I guess that's what I'm trying to say to your listeners. So for us, man, I mean, if you're looking at a good buy box for co-living, you're really looking at a home that's large. You're looking at something bigger than 2,000 square feet, in a perfect world, bigger than 2,500 square feet. Now, not every area has that at a good price point, but you're looking for something that's got a good flow and a layout for the number of rooms that you need to convert it to. Okay. You're not going to probably buy in an HOA unless you got written permission that this is okay with the HOA, because HOAs just have too much power. I've sued them. They've sued me. I've decided not to go down that route, and they're crazy anyway. So you want to be probably in a non-HOA, which is tough for some areas if you're in Florida or whatever, but you got to look for that right house. And you're looking for a home, that has a good flow to it. We love funky layouts. When it comes to location of a home, you're right, Nick. We're not targeting college students by any stretch of the imagination. This is working professionals. They have jobs. They can show 3 times the rental income, which, isn't a crazy amount, but like they can show the 3 times the rental income. So you want to be within a commute's distance, and a commute is a different distance for every city, right? San Francisco commute is different than Charlotte commute is different, Dallas commute is different than Houston commute. But like what you need to be able to do is say, I'm a commute's distance to blank employer, right? And those employers for us, biggest one, airport, right? Airport has, you're looking for any employer that has people that make $15 to $30 an hour, right? So where are tens and tens and tens of thousands? And by the way, every major city in America has hundreds of thousands of people that fall into that income bracket. Hundreds of thousands, right? And those are the people right now struggling with finding affordable housing, by the way, right? Because in Charlotte, like average studio price is like $1,400 plus utilities. So 1,700, let's call it, you're at 24 grand a year just on a studio apartment. It's like, holy shit. Like, who affords that if you're making 15 or $20 an hour, right? So you can't. After tax income after that is nothing, right? So that's the group we're trying to solve. So you think like airports have tens of thousands of those people that make that. People who put the baggage on your, on your airplane, the people that serve you, all the service workers, right? A lot of surface work. Co-living works a lot in like tourist towns too. Like Asheville's kind of a big tourist town. Like where are all the service going? All the people, all the service industry that serves, all the people that come there. Where do they live? They need a place. Amazon distribution centers, right? Walmart distribution centers. Just you're kind of looking for those employers, and you want to be within a commute's distance. I just bought a home recently that is walking distance to an Amazon distribution center. Now, it hasn't gone live yet, but I think it'll fill in probably a day, right? Because it's just like, that's the location you want to be at. And it's also like a 2-minute drive to the airport. It's crazy. I'd say those are a few. Now I could go down. We have something called the perfect co-living home method. It's like our little, and it's got all these different things. You're not looking for a lot of amenities. You don't want pools. You just want a basic house that can convert into a lot of rooms. So it's got to have a lot of square footage, and you want as many bathrooms as possible. But that way you don't have to add as many. So those are a couple things I would think about just to give your listeners something to ponder on.
Very cool. And is there a minimum requirement of the size that a bedroom has to be?
Every state has that, honestly. So like I think in North Carolina, I don't want to say it's like an 8x8. That seems small. Maybe it's an 8x10. It's not a nationwide thing. It's at least, okay, so in North Carolina building code, it's got to be at least 100 square feet. So that's, every state is going to have like a little bit of a different building code around what's a bedroom. But you need an egress. You need a way for them to get out if the house burns down. So you need a window or some sort of second form of egress. And then you also need it to meet whatever requirements your state or city requires for a bedroom. Yeah.